Well, as of this morning, we've received the latest global update on the vaccine rollout around the world. 925 million doses have been delivered of COVID-19 vaccines around the world. 925 million, just 1.5 million here in Australia. In the United States, they've reached 213 million doses, just 1.5 million here in Australia, and 43 million doses have been delivered in the United Kingdom. Yesterday, we also heard some shocking evidence in the Senate Committee into COVID-19 from the Department of Health. You'll remember that Phase 1A, the vaccination of our most vulnerable members of the community, aged care residents, disability facility residents and their staff, was supposed to be completed by Easter. That is what Scott Morrison promised. Evidence before the Senate Committee yesterday confirmed that 2/3 of residents of aged care facility still haven't been fully vaccinated, and shockingly, more than 99% of residents of disability facilities still have not been fully vaccinated. Australians living with a disability have been abandoned by Scott Morrison in this vaccine rollout. Still, the government won't release data on how many of the frontline workers caring for Australians in aged care and disability facilities have been vaccinated. Again, they were promised full vaccination by Easter. A union survey released this morning indicates that 85%, almost all, workers in aged care facilities still haven't even received a first dose of their COVID-19 vaccine. Yesterday, we also heard evidence from the Government Department that modelling has been prepared for new targets and new timelines for Scott Morrison's vaccine rollout. Well, Scott Morrison has to release those new timeframes. He has to release that modelling. Every single target and promise that Scott Morrison gave to the Australian people about this vaccine rollout has not been fulfilled. Australians deserve to know when they're going to be vaccinated. Australian business deserves to know that they can plan their recovery with confidence. Happy to take questions.
What do you make of Victoria's plan to put $50 million towards the mRNA vaccine? And does it make sense for states to be going their own way?
Well, as we've seen time and time again in this pandemic, a state government has had to step in where Scott Morrison has been too slow to act. The Australian Academy of Science and many other experts have been calling for months now for Australia to build an mRNA manufacturing capability here in Australia. Germany, for example, recognised that having secure local supplies of this state-of-the-art vaccine capability was a critical question of supply security, and they built that capability in just 6 months. All we've seen from this government is millions of dollars handed over to private consultants to prepare a business case that they won't release to the Australian public, but no real action. So we welcome the announcement by the Victorian government, but Scott Morrison should have acted on this before now.
We've seen Denmark and other countries now. Look, Denmark's dropped AstraZeneca altogether, and we're seeing empty vaccination halls, mass vaccination centres across Europe in response to the AstraZeneca blood clotting issues. Do you think it's time for us to drop that vaccine altogether?
No, I think it's important that we do as we've done for the whole of this pandemic, and that is follow public health advice. That has served Australia very, very well over the course of this last 12 months, and I think marks us out very favourably in comparison to some countries where that public health advice has been the subject of political dispute. So, you know, what we've done as a Labor Party, as an opposition, is to follow the advice of groups like the TGA, the Therapeutic Goods Administration, and the Advisory Group on Immunisation, and we intend to do that in the future.